What's up, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new updated Mekk Knight Invoked deck profile. You guys have been asking for this. Well, at least that's what I found from the poll that I did about a week ago, where I asked you guys what deck profiles you wanted to see next, and this was the most requested. About 500 votes or so. This one ended up taking the victory, so to speak, and I wanted to go ahead and update it now. It's a little delayed. I apologize. Been really busy lately, and with other things that have been occupying me time, but I finally got around to getting this profile ready for you guys. I do have a couple options in the main deck as far as certain engines are concerned, and we'll go over that when we get there. Also, real quick shout out to Imperium Duelist for providing some amazing sleeves. I've got the charm effect sleeves here on the extra deck in red, and just the non-effect grape purple sleeves here on the main deck that I absolutely love. Probably my favorite combination of sleeves right here. And the this Millennium playmat, and you can find this and many other amazing playmats on their website that you can get for 10% off with that discount code in the description below. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the profile. And to start, we have none other than the Mekk Knight engine. So we have 3 Mekk Knight Purple Nightfall. I've done a lot of testing with the Mekk Knight engine in this deck. I wanted to sort of minimalize it, and then I wanted to maximize it, and then it ended up going to sort of a happy medium. This is probably slightly different, maybe the same Mekk Knight ratio that I was playing in the last profile, but I wanted to sort of solve the problem that this deck had going first, which is your going first boards aren't going to be as great as your going second boards, simply because the inherent ability of the Mekk Knight engine requiring a full column to be able to, be able to summon this card. It often rely on your opponent having a card in their column that a lot of times they wouldn't give you, because they didn't play a card yet because they're going second, and you had to go first. But the Mekk Knight engine is a necessary evil. I didn't want to play any less of this card because it's such a good card to see going first or second, especially when you have a column available. Then next we have 2 Indigo Eclipse, 2 Blue Sky, and 1 Red Moon and 1 Yellow Star. I like these ratios a lot. I like playing the red and yellow just because I like having the option to be able to search off Blue Sky for any sort of removal card that I might need, whether it be monster removal in the form of Red Moon or back row removal in the form of Yellow Star. I actually at one point considered playing 2 Purple Nightfall and then 1 of each other Mekk Knight, just so I don't have to worry about opening too many in an opening hand. And I also considered playing this guy at 1 because I think he's the worst to open when going first. You can make him live with Summon Sorcerers turn 1, but that just takes way too much resources to get into in the first place, and it's not really worth just the 1 Mekk Knight search. But I like this ratio. I think it's as solid as it gets as far as Mekk Knights are concerned in the main deck. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention was playing the Mekk Knight of Rom with the Unexpected Die as a going first engine, because you can use it to make Link Spider turn 1 and just tutoring out a Mekk Knight monster, which also puts a light monster in your grave, which is a cool engine, but it does dedicate more space. You have to play the Unexpected Dies. You also have to play the Mekk Knight of Roms as well. Then we have 3 Alistar the Invoker. It's a Mekk Knight Invoked deck, so of course we have to play the Invoked part of that. And then 2 Time Maiden. This is a card that I've seen other people who run this deck run. Basically an idea from the community around this deck. And it's a great card. If you control a monster, you can special summon it from your hand. And the other effect doesn't matter because it's for Time Lord. So you're mainly using this to go into Link Rebo, and then it puts a light monster in your grave for fusion fodder for your invocation. It's a small addition to the deck, but I think it's what it needs, honestly, to be able to help improve on the problem this deck has when going first. It just helps create a column, gets a light monster in your grave, and it doesn't take up too much space in the main deck, which is why I think I value this at the end of the day maybe a little bit better than the Avram and Unexpected Die build, but you can also try that. I've tried it in the past. It's been pretty successful, but right now I do enjoy the Time Maiden version pretty well. Then 3 Ash Blossom. I've condensed the hand traps in here from 6 to 3. Just triple Ash. I think it's better than Ogre. And I think 3 Ash and 3 Ogre is a bit too much, like I said, cutting down on those going second cards that we had in the last build. And then onto the spells here to start. Triple Magical Meltdown. You got to see this card soon. It gets your Alistar to hand, which gets your Invocation, and it protects all of your fusion summons, which is so crucial. Even your instant fusion. Triple Invocation. This might seem like a lot, but like I've had turns where you just need to see this card, and if you don't, it just puts you in a really bad position and you're behind, and then you're going to start losing. Then we have Double Pot of Desires for draw power. I couldn't play this deck without Desires. I just felt like there were so many hands that this card fixed, and what you ended up losing off it was negligible because it just fixed your hand so well, and you were able to possibly win the game at that point. Then we have 2 World Legacies Memory. This is another card that you could also play with the Avram engine too, because you can just summon out an Avram off of this. It does limit you to summoning only Mekk Knights the rest of the turn, which is why I didn't really want to mix those two together because of that clause. But this is a card in of itself that does help going first, because it can get a Mekk Knight monster out of your deck, like Purple Nightfall, which is the one you really want to see the most, to grab another Mekk Knight. It's just a really strong card, and I wanted to experiment playing more of it in the main deck, and I've been enjoying doing so. You could play this at 1 because it is a quick play, and when you set it to make a column, you can't use it once it's set, because it does become, have trap-like properties, unlike a normal spell or a continuous spell. So that is one reason you could possibly cut it down to 2. If you were going to play the Avram and Unexpected Die build, you could possibly cut the Time Maidens and then one of these, and then start working on finding more room for those cards. Then we have 2 Instant Fusion, good going first and second card, summoning out a Thousand Eyes Restrict and linking to a Linkuriboh, or summoning out any of your invoked monsters, just for a column for a Mekk Knight. Just a good thing to do. Double Instant Fusion, or not double Instant Fusion, double Terraforming for your field spell, of course. Double Call by the Grave, stops hand traps, which is incredible. It's a quick play, so I wanted to cut down on quick plays as much as I could without sacrificing too many power cards. I think Double Call by the Grave is nice. Double Mind Control, 1 Book of Law, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Succession. Couple of one-ofs there, but I think these are mandatory cards. Hornet Drones is so powerful. Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession go hand in hand together, and Book of Law is just a really nice card to have in the deck to be able to search off of Alistar the Invoker of Madness. And lastly, 1 World Legacy Secrets. I've considered playing this card at 3, or maybe this and the World Legacy Whisper, which does negate spells. I've considered doing that, or even playing like World Legacy Key to get back your banished Mekk Knights off of your Invocation. That is also another option, helps block traps as well. But that's the main deck, and I've been really enjoying the way the build has been playing, with less going second cards. Can the deck still go second just as well? 100%. All the things are there that it needed to go second in the first place. Just with less of those going second cards, making it more difficult to go first. I guess that's the way I can put it. Now we'll go into the extra deck, and of course starting with the fusions for this deck. Double Mekaba. I've contemplated going into a third and adding a third, but it's just gotten to the point where I've never wanted the third one. I've always said maybe I want a third one, but just never wanted to add the third one, and I don't think I will. 1 Purgatrio, at least for the time being. 1 Purgatrio, 1 Megalanica. Strong card to be able to go into off of Book of Law. Invoked Ragin, really nice card. 1000 Eyes Restrict. You can play Millennium Eyes also on top of the 1000 Eyes, but I don't have that card, and I don't think it's 100% necessary. And then 1000 Eyes Restrict is just a good card to have in there overall. Then for some extra deck monsters, other extra deck monsters, Link monsters more specifically, 1 Borrelsword, 1 Borreload, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and Phoenix. The Nightmare package is pretty strong in here. Then 1 Invoker of Madness, and 1 Morningstar. I cut the Invoker Madness down to 1 just because the second one wasn't coming up as much as I had anticipated it would. And I think playing 1 and 1 is fine because it does allow for some more room of some other choice cards. 1 Link Karibo and 1 Sky Striker Ace Kagari, of course, for the Hornet Drone play. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile as a whole. Like I said, I've been making quite a few changes to this deck on and off for the past couple weeks. And I think this is where it's, you know, in a good spot for the time being. Like I said, there's not like a whole lot you can do with this deck at the current moment with the card pool that we have available. Could you add in the Unexpected Die engine? Yes. Could you add in a Kaiju engine? Yes. Could you add in like other engines? Could you add in more spells? Could you not run Desires? Like there's tons of things you could do. Could you add in more World Legacy traps? Yes, you could. Could you play Phantom Skyblaster? Yes, you could. But I think this is pretty solid where it's at, and I do want to make a pure Mekk Knight build, but I've been having trouble getting that deck to the point where I'm comfortable with getting a profile out with it, and it's going to require a lot more testing because it's been unsuccessful so far, mainly just because I feel like the lack of Brilliant Fusion hurts the deck so much. This build, it's a little bit more forgiving because it has a solid base around it with the Invoked engine, which does help at a bare minimum make your plays just a little bit better by getting Mekaba out and your field spell and the recurring Alistar and Invocation that this deck is able to put out. But for the time being, I think this is pretty good. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section below. Also, one other thing I wanted to note for the side deck, I've been siding in Solemns, which have been proving to be really strong for when you do have to go first and you know you're going to have to go first. So I would highly recommend for your sideboard for this deck, putting in an entire Solemn package like Triple Strike, Warning, Judgment. It does help this deck out a lot when going first. I wouldn't main it because you still want that going second punch that this deck has. If your opponent's going to make you go second off that dice roll, which in most cases they are, because a lot of decks this format want to go first. So you usually have an inherent advantage at that point. But when they do make you go first, that Solemn package really helps solidify things. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the profile. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Check out Imperium Duelist as well. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter if you haven't already also. And that's going to be it. And as always, guys, I'm Winner Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.